Welcome to History Decode, where the past comes alive. Every week we uncover fascinating stories, forgotten events, and the hidden truths that shaped our world. If you love exploring history in a whole new way, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. 98% of the people who watch my videos haven't subscribed to my channel yet. So please take a moment to subscribe. I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support will help me get there. Today, we're diving deep into the life of one of the most iconic stars Hollywood has ever seen, Tom Cruise. He's a man who has jumped off skyscrapers, hung from planes, and raced motorcycles at terrifying speeds, all for our entertainment. But behind the blockbuster action hero lies a very real human being, a man with a turbulent childhood, complex relationships, and an unstoppable drive to succeed. So let's uncover the history and family background of Thomas Cruise Mapother IV, better known to the world as Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was born on July 3, 1962, in Syracuse, New York. His birth name was Thomas Cruise Mapother IV. That last name, Mapother, comes from his father's side of the family. His father, Thomas Cruise Mapother III, was an electrical engineer. His mother, Mary Lee Pfeiffer, was a special education teacher. From the outside, it might have looked like a typical American family, but inside the Cruise household, life was anything but easy. Tom has often described his father as a bully, someone who would lash out at him both emotionally and physically. He grew up in a household filled with tension, and that shaped much of who he became later in life. The family struggled financially. Tom has said they were the kind of poor where you move furniture out on the street and can't pay the bills. This meant he learned resilience and adaptability very early in life. Tom wasn't an only child. He had three sisters, Lee Ann, Marion, and Cass. Despite the hardships, his mother was his biggest supporter, encouraging his dreams when almost nobody else believed in him. As a kid, Tom faced another huge challenge: dyslexia. He struggled to read, felt humiliated in school, and was often labeled as slow. For a child who already lived in a turbulent household, this added another layer of pain. But Tom had something else inside him: determination. He once said, "I had to figure out how to teach myself to learn. I had to develop strategies that helped me get through school." This struggle gave him the mental toughness that would later make him famous for performing death-defying stunts. During his teenage years, Tom's parents divorced. His mother took him and his sisters away from his father. They moved frequently, living in places like Canada and Kentucky. Every time he changed schools, he had to start over, make new friends, and prove himself again. Interestingly, young Tom didn't immediately dream of being a Hollywood star. At one point, he actually wanted to become a Catholic priest. He even attended a Franciscan seminary for a short time when he was 14. But fate had something entirely different planned. Tom first discovered acting almost by accident. In high school, a teacher suggested he try out for the school play. He got a role in the production of Guys and Dolls. To everyone's surprise, the boy who struggled with reading scripts suddenly came alive on stage. That was the turning point. Acting gave him confidence, energy, and a sense of belonging. Soon after, he decided to pursue it seriously. When Tom turned 18, he packed his bags, left his small-town life, and moved to New York City. He had just $200 in his pocket and a dream that seemed impossible. Like many struggling actors, he worked odd jobs: busboy, porter, even a table cleaner at restaurants, just to survive while auditioning. In 1981, at the age of 19, Tom Cruise landed a small role in the movie Endless Love. It wasn't much, but it opened the door to Hollywood. That same year, he caught more attention with a supporting role in Taps, where his intensity stood out. Then came 1983, the year that changed everything. Tom starred in Risky Business. You might remember the famous scene, him dancing in his underwear to old-time rock and roll. That one moment turned him into a household name. Just 3 years later, in 1986, he starred in Top Gun. Suddenly, Tom Cruise wasn't just an actor, he was a superstar. Fighter jets, leather jackets, and Ray-Ban sunglasses became cultural icons, and Tom became the face of Hollywood's new generation. But while his career was skyrocketing, Tom's personal life was complicated. He has been married 3 times. First to Mimi Rogers in 1987, divorced in 1990, then to Nicole Kidman in 1990. They adopted 2 children children, Isabella and Connor. After 11 years, they divorced in 2001, finally to Katie Holmes in 2006. Together, they had a daughter, Suri Cruz, who became a media sensation. Their marriage ended in 2012. Despite the ups and downs, one thing is clear. Tom has always been deeply devoted to his children. You can't talk about Tom Cruise without mentioning Scientology. He became involved in the religion in the late 1980s, introduced by his first wife, Mimi Rogers. For decades, Tom has been one of the most famous faces of Scientology, which has sparked both admiration and controversy. This part of his life is often debated, but what's undeniable is how it shaped his personal choices and public image. If there's one thing fans admire most about Tom Cruise, it's his commitment to doing his own stunts. From scaling the Burj Khalifa in Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, to hanging on the side of a real airplane in Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, Tom has risked his life again and again for the sake of cinema. He once said, "When I'm doing a stunt, I'm thinking, how do I make the audience believe it's real? Because for me, it is real." This relentless dedication has made him a legend in Hollywood. Today, Tom Cruise is more than just an actor. He's a producer, a global icon, and a symbol of passion for the art of filmmaking. He's been nominated for 3 Academy Awards and won 3 Golden Globes. His movies have earned over $11 billion worldwide, making him one of the highest-grossing stars in history. But perhaps his greatest legacy is how he turned hardship into strength. From a bullied child with dyslexia and a troubled family to one of the biggest stars on the planet, Tom Cruise is proof that resilience and determination can change destiny. And that's the story of Tom Cruise, the boy from Syracuse who became a Hollywood legend. His journey is filled with challenges, triumphs, and unforgettable moments, both on screen and off. What do you think about Tom Cruise's story? Do you admire his dedication to stunts, or do you find his personal life more fascinating? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another History Decoded. This is History Decode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. He's one of the most beloved actors in the world, the star of The Matrix and John Wick, a man admired not just for his movies, but for his kindness, humility, and resilience. But behind the fame lies a life marked by tragedy, struggle, and unshakable strength. This is the incredible journey of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2nd, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon. His mother, Patricia, was an English costume designer. His father, Samuel Nowlin Reeves, Jr., was a Hawaiian-born geologist of Chinese-Hawaiian heritage. But Keanu's childhood was far from stable. His father abandoned the family when Keanu was just 3 years old. Soon after, his parents divorced, and his mother moved the family around, from Australia to New York, and finally to Toronto, Canada. The boy who would one day play heroes on screen grew up surrounded by instability, without a father figure to guide him. School was never easy for Keanu. He suffered from dyslexia, which made reading and academics a constant struggle. Teachers often misunderstood him, and Keanu dropped out of high school without ever earning a diploma. But he wasn't lost. He found his true love in performance, first through ice hockey, where he dreamed of becoming a professional goalie, and later through acting, where his imagination and emotions could finally shine. In the late 1970s and early 80s, Keanu began acting in theater productions and small television roles. By his late teens, he left Canada for Los Angeles to chase his dream of becoming an actor. At first, he was just another struggling young man in Hollywood, taking odd jobs, living modestly, and waiting for the right opportunity. That opportunity came in 1989 when Keanu starred in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The film was a surprise hit, and audiences loved his goofy, lovable energy. But Keanu wanted more than comedy. He wanted to prove himself as a serious actor. In 1999, everything changed. Keanu starred as Neo in The Matrix, a groundbreaking sci-fi film that revolutionized cinema. His calm, thoughtful presence and unique action style made him a global superstar. But even as fame surrounded him, Keanu's personal life was marked by unimaginable loss. In the late 1990s, Keanu fell in love with actress Jennifer Jennifer Syme. In 1999, the couple faced heartbreak when their daughter was stillborn. Just 2 years later, Jennifer herself died in a tragic car accident. Keanu, who had already lost his father to addiction and later his best friend, actor River Phoenix, to an overdose in 1993, found himself once again surrounded by grief. These losses shaped him deeply, but they also made him the man the world admires today. After years of ups and downs in Hollywood, Keanu made one of the greatest comebacks in film history with John Wick in 2014. The role was perfect for him. A broken man, scarred by loss, yet unstoppable when fighting for what he loves. The franchise not only revived his career, but also made him an icon for a new generation. But Keanu Reeves is more than his movies. Fans around the world call him the nicest guy in Hollywood. He's known for quietly donating millions to children's hospitals and cancer research, giving away parts of his earnings from The Matrix to The Crew, riding the subway like a normal person, stopping to talk with fans no matter who they are. For Keanu, fame was never about luxury or ego. It was about gratitude and connection. Keanu Reeves is living proof that pain doesn't have to destroy you. It can shape you into someone stronger, kinder, and more compassionate. He went from a struggling boy with dyslexia to a global superstar, from loss and heartbreak to hope and resilience. Keanu Reeves isn't just a movie star. He's a reminder that even in the darkest times, we can choose kindness, we can choose strength, and we can choose hope. Thank you for watching. This is History Decode, bringing you the untold stories of the world's most fascinating people and moments in history. Don't forget to subscribe for more. He's the man behind the helmet in The Mandalorian, the protector in The Last of Us, and the unforgettable Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones. But behind the fame, behind the camera, lies a story far more powerful than any role he's ever played. This is the incredible journey of Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal was born José Pedro Balmaceda Pascal on April 2, 1975, in Santiago, Chile. But his life began in a country on fire. Chile, in the mid-70s, was under the grip of a brutal dictatorship led by General Augusto Pinochet. Political dissidents were hunted, imprisoned, or disappeared. Pedro's parents, Veronica Pascal, a child psychologist, and José Balmaceda, a fertility doctor, were deeply involved in the opposition movement. It was a dangerous time to speak your mind. And when Pedro was just a baby, barely 9 months old, his parents had to make a choice: risk prison or leave everything behind. The Pascal family fled to Denmark, seeking political asylum, and soon after moved to the United States. For Pedro, growing up in the U.S. was a mix of safety and displacement. He spent his childhood in San Antonio, Texas, and later moved to Orange County, California. As a kid, Pedro was shy but imaginative. Movies, theater, and storytelling became his escape. In a way, performance was his way of surviving. By the time he was a teenager, Pedro was obsessed with acting. He won awards in competitive swimming, but his real passion was the stage. He went on to study acting at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, a dream for many, but for Pedro, it came with endless nights of struggle. Rent, auditions, rejections, and the constant reminder that the world doesn't hand you success just because you want it. Before anyone knew his name, Pedro Pascal spent over 20 years playing small guest roles in TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Good Wife, Law & Order, and CSI. Every audition felt like another uphill climb. Friends found fame, while Pedro kept waiting for his break. But here's the thing about Pedro: he never gave up. He kept refining his craft, believing that one day the right role would come. That role came in 2014. Pedro was cast as Oberyn Martell in HBO's Game of Thrones. His charisma, charm, and raw intensity lit up the screen. In just one season, he became a fan favorite. Though his character met a shocking end, Pedro's career was just beginning. Hollywood was finally paying attention. In 2019, he became the masked bounty hunter in The Mandalorian. Even with his face hidden for most of the show, Pedro brought depth, emotion, and warmth to the character. Then came The Last of Us in 2023, where he portrayed Joel, a hardened survivor with a broken heart. His performance was hailed as masterful, earning him love from critics and millions of viewers worldwide. Despite his stardom, Pedro Pascal remains deeply connected to his roots. He often speaks about his parents' courage, his Chilean heritage, and the sacrifices that made his career possible. But life hasn't been without tragedy. Pedro's mother passed away in 1999 before she could see his success. He later adopted her surname Pascal as his stage name, a way of carrying her with him always. Pedro Pascal's journey isn't just a Hollywood success story. It's the story of resilience, perseverance, and the power of holding on to your dreams even when the world tells you no. From political exile to global icon, Pedro Pascal is proof that where you start doesn't define where you'll go. He's not just the Mandalorian. He's not just Joel. He's Pedro Pascal, a man whose life is the ultimate story of courage and hope. Thank you for watching. This is History Decode, where we bring you the untold stories of the world's most fascinating people and moments in history. Don't forget to subscribe for more. He's a warrior, a king, a symbol of strength and pride for millions around the world. But long before he was Aquaman, before the fame, the red carpets, and the blockbusters, Jason Momoa was just a kid, raised by a single mother, trying to find his place in the world. His roots run deep, from the islands of Hawaii to the heart of Iowa. And his story? It's not just about success. It's about identity, culture, and never backing down. This is the untold story of Jason Momoa. Island roots and Midwestern beginnings. Joseph Jason Namakaeha Momoa was born on August 1st, 1979, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His middle name, Namakaeha, means all-knowing eyes in Hawaiian, a fitting name for someone who would one day captivate millions. But when he was just a baby, his parents split. His father, Joseph Momoa, was a painter of Native Hawaiian descent. His mother, Connie Lemke, of German, Irish, and Native American ancestry, raised him alone, not in Hawaii, but in Norwalk, Iowa. That's right. Jason grew up in the flat cornfield-covered Midwest, a Polynesian kid in a mostly white town, feeling like an outsider. That duality, island soul, Midwest upbringing, shaped everything he would become. He was athletic, artistic, and rebellious, a restless spirit searching for purpose. He studied marine biology and wildlife biology before dropping out to explore the world. At 19, he returned to Hawaii, not just to visit, but to reconnect with his roots. That decision would change his life. While working at a surf shop in Oahu, a talent scout spotted him. With his rugged looks and powerful presence, Jason landed a role on Baywatch, Hawaii, in 1999. But even then, he didn't see himself as a star. People thought I had it easy, but I didn't. I worked every job, roofed houses, waited tables, lived out of my car. He wasn't handed success. He earned every bit of it, from Khal Drogo to global stardom. For years, Jason took smaller roles, building his resume and biding his time. Then came Game of Thrones. In 2011, Jason was cast as Khal Drogo, the fierce Dothraki warlord. The role changed everything. Though his time on the show was short, his performance was unforgettable. Suddenly, Hollywood took notice. Then came the role that made him a global icon, Aquaman, a Polynesian superhero, a Pacific Island king. I wanted kids who look like me to see a hero who looks like them. Aquaman wasn't just a blockbuster. It was personal. Family, fatherhood, and culture. Behind the tattoos and the action scenes, Jason Momoa is a family man. He married actress Lisa Bonet in 2017, though they separated in 2022, and together they have 2 children, Lola Iolani and Nakoa Wolf. He often says his greatest role is being a father. Jason's also deeply proud of his Hawaiian and Polynesian roots. From traditional tattoos to speaking out for native land rights, he uses his platform to protect culture, land, and people. He's more than a movie star. He's a modern-day warrior with a mission, legacy, and what's next. Jason Momoa's journey is far from over. From starring in Dune, Sea, and the Aquaman sequels to launching his own environmental brand, he's rewriting what it means to be a hero, on and off screen. He's still that kid from Iowa, still that island boy at heart, but now he's leading a new generation with pride, passion, and purpose. I want to tell stories. I want to protect the planet. I want to show people that it's okay to be different. Jason Momoa isn't just an actor. He's a symbol, a blend of old soul and modern power, of ancient roots and bold futures. From Hawaii to Hollywood, this is the story of a man who never forgot where he came from and who's still discovering who he is. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to History Decode. Tell us, whose story should we uncover next? Till next time, keep decoding history.
Oh, Walker, a name that became synonymous with speed, loyalty, and a passion for life. But beyond the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, Paul's journey was one of heart, humility, and unforgettable moments. Born on September 12, 1973, in Glendale, California, Paul William Walker IV was destined to make an impact on the world. Raised in a family of modest means, Paul's early years were shaped by the love and support of his parents and siblings. But even as a young boy, there was something special about him, a sense of adventure and a desire to connect with others. Clips of Paul's first TV appearances and early acting roles in shows like Highway to Heaven and The Young and the Restless. Shots of Paul on set. Paul's career in entertainment began early, with his first acting gig at just 2 years old in a commercial. By his teenage years, he was already a familiar face on TV, landing roles in hit shows like Highway to Heaven. However, it was his breakout film role that would change his life forever. Iconic scenes from the Fast and the Furious franchise, with Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor. In 2001, Paul became the face of a franchise that would define an era. As Brian O'Connor, an undercover cop turned street racer, Paul Walker brought a blend of toughness, warmth, and relatability that fans around the world instantly fell in love with. The success of the Fast and the Furious wasn't just about fast cars. It was about family, loyalty, and respect. Values Paul embodied in both his on-screen and off-screen life. While the world saw him as a star, Paul was deeply committed to causes that mattered most to him. He founded Reach Out Worldwide, an organization dedicated to providing disaster relief to communities in need. Whether it was aiding victims of natural disasters or spending time with children, Paul's heart was as big as his screen presence. His humility, kindness, and love for others were constants in his life, no matter the spotlight. Outside of acting, Paul had a deep passion for cars, speed, and adventure. His love for the automotive world wasn't just for the camera. Paul was an avid car enthusiast and even raced professionally. He had a thirst for exploring the world, from surfing in the Pacific to diving into the deep blue. His zest for life and new experiences reflected his love for pushing boundaries. Sadly, the world lost Paul Walker on November 30th, 2013 in a tragic car accident. But his legacy lives on, not just through the Fast and Furious films, but in the countless lives he touched through his charity, his infectious spirit, and his unwavering commitment to family and friends. Paul Walker's story wasn't just about fame. It was about making a difference, living fully, and leaving behind a legacy that will never fade. For Paul, it was never about the cars. It was always about the ride.